I have started.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all. Hey everyone for so this is Darshil and welcome to the India Virtual Marketer User Group meeting. So good afternoon. I guess most of the people are joining in from India, but if there are anyone else joining from anywhere else, good evening or good morning as well. So so we'll just get started with some of the housekeeping slides. So the we are here to share the knowledge, no self promotion, and please don't contact people outside of the user group meeting without their consent. And if there are any use cases, specific use cases which are being shared in the mug meeting, please do not share without everyone else's consent, the person who has shared the use case. And this mug meeting is being recorded, and the recorded version of the meeting will be posted on the Devi and the YouTube page, so that everyone else can view it on demand. Next up, please join our month chapter. We are gonna try scheduling bi-monthly such events, and we are gonna we will schedule the events as per your choice of subjects. And Ajay and I will take care of sharing the knowledge that we all have with everyone else. So please subscribe or join us to our month chapter, the Devi, and upcoming opportunities with respect to Adobe Marketo. So here are the current certifications which are available: the professional, expert, and master. So if you are not already certified and are eyeing towards certification, feel free to skill up and apply and pass the relevant certification based on your skill sets. So the professional, expert, master are the certifications that Adobe Marketo has, and these are in the increasing order of difficulty and expertise. And of course, join us for the next Champion Office Hours, which is happening on August 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I know it's a little bit late for us on the eastern part of the world, but if you are like me, if you are a night owl and want to learn a couple of things, feel free to subscribe and join. And please, we are having an amazing panel here, so please join and register here as well. And today we are gonna talk about the email deliverability. So we are gonna talk about why is it important, why is it it's not an easy game to maintain a stellar deliverability. We are talk about some of the best practices, some items related to IP warming, and how we can leverage Marketo for a stellar email deliverability. And we are then going to talk about DMARCs and DS, some of the items related to inbox management and spam complaints. And we are planning to dedicate a considerable chunk of time towards Q&A as well. So sit back and feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we'll get to them when we can. And so before we dive into the slides, into the core material, we'll just like to introduce a bit about ourselves. So I am Darshil Shah. I work as a marketer consultant at Deloitte. I am based out of Bangalore in India, and I am a marketer champion, architect, two-time certified expert, and community advisor as well. In my free time, I like to read as well as explore some of the cool gadgets and cars as well. So, Ajay, would you please like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Darshil. Hey, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for dialing in from each and every part of India. Appreciate your contribution here. And, I know it has been a while since we are resuming this mug, but, your active participation is extremely required for the success of this group. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any queries, and we will be organizing uh, the events or session in this specific mug as per your own requirements. So we are here to assist you with the best of our ability. And just in case if you may want to participate, just let us know if you have some cool insights to share within this mug. We will be happy to have you as a part of speaker group for this specific mug. So regarding me, my name is Ajay Sarpal. I am based out in Bangalore, India. I have almost 23 years of experience. And before starting my own venture, I worked as a director of marketing operations at a startup. So the firm that I own happens to be the bronze level partner of Adobe. I'm four times Marketo champion. Marketo certified solution architect, fearless 56-time Marketo certified expert, and I'm actually in the core committee of Adobe, who is actually responsible for building certification exam questions from associate expert till architect level. So I'm two times Adobe subject matter expert as well on Marketo Engage, and this title is given to those who are actually building the certification exam question. So this is all about me. Excited that we have resumed this mug and looking forward to your contribution. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the stellar introduction and the background, Ajay. So yeah, like as Ajay said, please feel free to reach out us on LinkedIn or any other social media or via email if you would like to speak at our mug, or if you would like to conduct sessions on any particular subject that you would like. So let's get started with the email deliverability. So first we'll understand what is deliverability, why it is important. So when it comes to email deliverability, like it is very important to understand the basic difference between what an email delivery is and versus what the email deliverability is. So when we talk about email delivery, it is when an email is successfully delivered to the receiving recipient's mailbox server. And when we talk about deliverability, it is it is when email lands up in the inbox of a person. So you might have a stellar email delivery, but you may not have a stellar or the equally good deliverability. So it is important to not only monitor your email delivery, but you also need to monitor your deliverability. Like the emails which you're sending to people, are they landing in their mailbox, or are they being rejected or not getting delivered to them at all? So it's obvious that for your marketing strategy to work, people should receive communications from you. People should be able to see your emails in their inbox, and of course, the deliverability is the foundation for email marketing. If your emails are not getting delivered to the person, to the prospect to whom you're marketing, to them, your email marketing program, however complex you have, however great that you built the email marketing program, it is equally non-existent to them. So it is important to have a good deliverability and for people to be able to receive your emails in their inbox. And for a B2B email marketing statistic report, there like around 16% of the emails never made it to the inbox. So think about like millions of marketing emails are being sent to the people on a daily basis, and out of that, like 16% of the emails never make it to the inbox. So it is crucial that you have your deliverability game on top. You are working towards having great email deliverability as well. So yeah, continuing on the same thing, like bad email delivery would equivalent to poor ROI. You would not be having good return of investment, which is equivalent to all your marketing dollars getting wasted. So like think about all the all the dollars which you're investing your email marketing program, all the effort which you're putting towards it. Ultimately, if people are not able to receive your email in their inbox, so that doesn't like that is clear cut wastage of your marketing dollars and effort. And like I hear a lot of people saying that email is an old channel. There are a lot of social B2B channels which are equally good, but still email continues to be one of the best B2B marketing channel. So it is the highest ROI, like average ROI amongst all the other channels. So for every dollar which you invest in your email marketing program, on an average you get $36 in return. So that is an astounding 3600 percentage of return on investment. So email is here to stay, and you need to ensure that the delivery is also proper so that people are able to receive your email in their inbox. And think about it this way. So for every undelivered email, it's a lost lead, it's a lost deal, potential lost deal, and the money which is spent to acquire that leads also get wasted. So now that we have a brief idea about why deliverability is important, let's see what makes seemingly simple email a very complex channel in real life. So first of all, for your email program to succeed, you need to have a valid email address of a prospect. And if you have like once you have the valid email address, your email, like the email once you send it, should be able to get through the ISPs, the filter domains, the webmail provider, or the corporate email filters which are present at the recipient's mailbox server. And once you're past that, once your email is past that, then you must get it passed through the recipient spam filter as well. So the spam filter would identify if your email is likely to be placed in the spam folder, or is it likely to be placed in the non-spam like the other primary inbox or the promotional folders. And once your email is passed through spam filter, then your email should avoid the junk or the promotional email folders as well. So like the ultimate goal of your email marketing program should be to be able to land in prospects inbox and not any other folders. And once it gets into recipient's inbox, the recipient needs to engage with the email, and then only you are going to see conversions, you are going to see engagements on email. So the like all these are steps which you need to which your email should go through in order to be able to successfully land into the inbox, and for a prospect to at least see your email in their inbox. So I'll just briefly talk about some of the best practices when it comes to email deliverability. So first of all, it's mandatory to and highly recommended to incorporate the SPF and DKIM in your DNS settings. So this will allow Marketo to send authenticated emails on your behalf and the to the email recipient's email server. It will like they can verify that you are actually you, who you are claiming to be. So apart from that, you need to keep your marketable people list clean. Of course, a big no to the list purchase, and stop sending regular marketing emails to people who have been inactive since a while. So when I talk about since a while, it could be 90 days, it could be 120 days, based on your sales cycle, based on your engagements as well. And you need to keep a tab on your email engagements. So strive for the open click-through rates and conversion down the funnel. You should closely monitor those metrics as well, along with the delivery as well. And of course, religiously follow the practice of IP and domain warming when it is required. So we have a whole slide where we are discussing about when you should consider going for an IP or a domain warming. And along those lines, so email deliverability, it's a marathon and not a sprint. So like gradually work towards improving it. Don't change your IP. Like I see a lot of like some people change their IP address, some people change their domains in order to like start afresh, but that is not how it should be done. You should consider improving your deliverability at a slower pace, at a gradual but continual phase. And apart from that, you should ensure that you have like correct type of IP based on your needs. So you can have shared, trusted, or dedicated IP based on your needs. If you have a lot of email volumes, you can consider going for the dedicated IP. So Marketo recommends if you have like more than 100,000 email send volumes per month, then you should consider for dedicated IP. Else you can continue or go for the shared IP address. And of course, you like when it comes to building your email asset itself, you should ensure that the content is relevant, it is personalized to the audience. Catch all static content never it never works. People are likely to unsubscribe from your email. People are likely to mark it as spam or place them in the junk folder, which ultimately take a hit on your reputation score as well. And be consistent with your email sending volumes. Sudden spikes drop in the email volumes can of course affect the deliverability. So the ISPs and the filtering companies closely monitor any change, any spikes, or any unusual traffic from the IPs, the email sending IPs. So be sure if you are, trying, like if you plan to increase your email sending volume, do it gradually on a slow basis and not just do it haphazardly. And so this decision tree explains when should you be going through the IP warming process, and when it is required versus when it is not required. So first of all, in the leftmost we have like, are you using a shared or a dedicated IP? So if you have a dedicated IP, is your IP new? If your IP is new, you should definitely, if your IP is a new dedicated IP, you should definitely consider for going through the IP warming process. Else, if your IP, if your dedicated IP is not new, it's already been existing and you have been sending emails through it, then you should come to a decision if your domain is new or not. If it is, if your domain is new, you should definitely go for IP warming. If your domain is not new, but if you are planning to add a new subdomain that is gonna be new, even the domain remains same, but you are adding a new subdomain that is also requires IP warming. And apart from that, when you have like if you are not sending your email volumes, like the email volumes are been inconsistent since a while, and if you want to improve on your deliverability, then also you should consider going through the IP or domain warming exercise. And as of now, if your deliverability is not very good, if there's a huge difference between the delivery and your deliverability metrics, then also you should consider for the IP or a domain warming exercise. And ultimately, if you plan to increase your email sending volume significantly, then also it is recommended that you should go for the IP warming exercise. So IP warming exercise is very crucial to ensure that you are gradually increasing the load on a new IP or on a new domain, and you are not haphazardly or making sudden spikes on the emails and volumes from your IP or the domain. Next up is how can you leverage Marketo for ensuring a stellar email deliverability? So these are some of the steps that you can follow, some of the programs, some of the setup that you can build in Marketo to ensure that you have a good email deliverability uh, as well. So you can create a segmentations to isolate the junk data from marketable records. When I say junk data, it can vary from like business to business. You may have like if there are few demographic fields that you consider mandatory for people, you should like all the people that do not have those demographic data in it, you can consider them as a junk records. And apart from that, like if there are any invalid email addresses, you can also consider them as a junk data. And create campaigns to add bounced email addresses, disqualified people to a suppression list. And of course, desending emails or sending emails to the people who have been bouncing since quite a while is going to take a toll on your reputation score, and your deliverability is also going to take a hit. And create monitoring smart lists to identify inactive records. So I always recommend people to have wake up or re-engage nurture tracks or programs to set up, and like you can remove those people from your regular marketing email campaigns and add them in this re-engage nurture tracks before you completely stop sending emails if they are inactive even after that. And avoid sending marketing emails that are way too old like that are still deliverable, but they are way to be old. So if they are not having any activity, there is a high chances that they could be spam traps, and sending emails to the spam traps can definitely take a toll on your deliverability as well. So I will like to request Ajay to present on the subsequent slides. Over to you, Ajay.
Thank you so much, Darshil. So here is the complete journey of an email, and what I'm actually going to walk you all through about various ways through which we will be able to, or we could, improve email deliverability. A few of those are paid and a few of those are free. So means depending upon what kind of marketing budget you have, you will be able to channelize those. So I'll just start with the journey of an email. As you know that being a marketer, that the first thing that we work on is the target audience and setting up the email. Then we create the text version of the email, and then we schedule the send. And then when we are scheduling the send, we see the skipped emails. Those are basically those who have actually unsubscribed from our email campaign or invalid. Then the emails are delivered, and then we have hard bounces and soft bounces. And when the emails are actually delivered, although Marketo or any of the marketing automation platform says that the emails are delivered, but most of the emails will go to your inbox, but few emails or many emails might land into junk folder, spam trap, and blocked by ISPs. But the marketing automation platforms will show us that those emails are delivered, but in reality, if the email is not in the inbox, who is going to see that? And Then the fifth step would be, then once the email in the inbox, then people are going to open it, and people might not open those emails which are caught in spam trap, blocked by ISPs, and getting into junk folder. So once the email is opened, then the next step would be, people are going to click the link within the body of the email. They might unsubscribe. There could be a potential spam trap, and the most important, they can complain directly to ISPs that the sender is a spammer. And then once the email is clicked, and the same with the email not opened, because the open is basically tracked by a pixel size image. So just in case if someone has not downloaded the image, that means the marketing automation platform may not be able to track that as an open, but still the recipient will be able to click the email, will be able to unsubscribe, and will and could trigger spam trap. And there are many best practices through which we could avoid spam trap. A few Darshil already explained, but the most important would be that try to avoid buying lists from various list providers if the list provider is not authenticated. And the second thing is, like Darshil mentioned, that we need to keep a very active eye in finding out those leads which were sort of not inactive but all of a sudden got active within the database, and the source of those lists or those leads were from list purchase. So these are the few things which we need to avoid for spam trap. Next slide, Darshil. So basically, once the prerequisite for any email to be delivered successfully is the IT setting, which Darshil covered. One happens to be SPF and DKIM. So these are the mandatory IT settings which we should have. Then the another one is advanced IT. Advanced IT is setting up DMARC policy, which I will be explaining you in the following slide. Um, Setting up smart network data services for Outlook.com alert, blacklisting alert for IP and domain. And the best part of these advanced IT settings is that these are free. You need not to pay any single rupee to any service provider. All you need to do is just work with your IT team to enter some DNS entries, and then you are all done. And the other best practices, like Darshil mentioned, that we need to use clean email list, we need to have an unsubscribe option, we should be using text version, we should be adhering to GDPR and local laws, we should be having a catchy subject line and personalization. And there are many more which we need to take care of when it comes to email best practices. Darshil, next slide. And the DMARC record. So, what is DMARC policy? And just in case if you have any question, the chat window is open. Feel free to ask any question. And once we are done with this presentation, we will be stopping the recording of this session so that you are free to ask any potential question which you may have. But in the interim, if you have any question, feel free to chime in and type within the chat window, and we would be happy to answer those. So, what is a DMARC record? Think about a scenario. You're working for a large organization, and although you got SPF and DKIM implemented, but you have your competitors, or maybe you will be having a department, which is just sending the email using the same domain through which you have configured Marketo to send out the emails, but they have not configured SPF and DKIM for that specific tool. So what will happen? It actually impacts your credibility on Marketo or any of the marketing automation platform as well. So think about another scenario as well. You have a competitor, and that competitor, in order to spoil your image, is sending out a phishing email using your domain. How would you get to know? How could you stop that? And is there any way to do it? The answer is yes. It is as easy as setting up the DMARC record. And the beauty of this DMARC record is that it helps in improving the email deliverability, because sending emails that is DMARC compliant can definitely improve the email delivery to your customers and prospects. Then the email visibility. So the DMARC provides report visibility into all outbound email sent from you or any third party provider, which you think it could be, Marketo, your survey platform, Salesforce, or any other third party platform using your domain. And just in case if the SPF DKIM records are failing, you have the option. You will definitely be getting those alert notification to the email ID which you are going to specify while setting up the DMARC record. But you can also set the condition. If the demarc policy is failed, let's not send the email to any recipient and let's block it completely, so that you could so that you could avoid getting your IP, or your email domain hampered by those unsolicited emails or phishing emails, or maybe genuine emails sent by our other departments who have not set up the right DNS settings, which are SPF and DKIM for that specific domain. So it helps in improving email deliverability, it helps in improving email visibility, it helps in identifying the delivery problem. So DMARC also gives you the insight into email authentication problem with SPF and DKIM that impact the email deliverability, and it gives you daily alert notification as well. A little bit manual, because you might have to go through the XML records, but there are multiple tools or free tools available through which you can just upload those XML files, and you can get um, any alert notification out of that. And it can definitely help you in preventing spoofing and phishing attacks. So on the right hand side, you will be able to see the links how you can set up the demarc record, and how you will be able to track it, whether the demarc record is already set up for your organization or not, and what kind of demarc record is set up. Because there are different levels. Means you could set this up on moderate level, you can set this up on strict level as well. When moderate level, you will only be getting notification when you will enable a strict demarc policy. In that situation, you will not be able to, means the sender may not be able to send the email at all, because you are blocking any unauthorized email to get delivered which is being sent from your domain. So my personal suggestion to you would be always go for demarc. Darshil, next slide please. So smart network data services, which we call it SNDS for outlook.com. So similar way, like we are going to set up the DMARC policy, it is also advisable to set up the SNDS alert mechanism for outlook.com. So the outlook.com smart network data services gives you the data you need to understand and improve the reputation of outlook.com. Means it actually helps you to identify that how many emails are landing in your spam folder, how many recipients are actually complaining about your email to ISP, which in the end is messing up your email score, and then your emails are actually either getting blocked or landing into the spam folder. So there is a proper step on how you could set this up. So I have actually added the link here. uh, it could be as easy as first you need to have an email on hotmail.com or outlook.com. Then there is a link where you need to actually add the dedicated IP of Marketo and associate that with your email ID. And then you need to select abuse at marketo.com as the sender. Then you need to create a support ticket, and Marketo is going to enable that. Marketo's email compliance team is going to enable that tracking for you. And once the tracking is enabled, then there is going to be a link which you need to keep monitoring it, and that will be able to help you to let you know that how your emails are actually behaving when they land to outlook.com. And all the detailed steps are actually mentioned within the link. And once the recording is being shared with you all, you will be able to actually see those links, and then you will be able to find it out, the step by step instructions on how to set these up. Next slide, Darshil. So this one is again my favorite. Now think about it. You have sent out an email, and before you joined any organization, there was someone who actually abused the system, and unintentionally, or maybe you accidentally ended up abusing the system, and you are sending emails without unsubscribe link, or maybe you are just sending redundant emails, and sending emails without the text version, or maybe sending the entire email as an image. So um, the ISPs are extremely sensitive about such things, and they might tend to block your IP or domain. But is there a free tool which can actually help us to find it out whether my IP or my domain is being blocked? The answer is yes. You can actually visit MX Toolbox, and you can browse that link, and then all you need to do is just enter your IP address, and then MX Toolbox will be able to, or will be checking your IP address against 100 DNS based email blacklist. And just in case, if your mail server has been blacklisted, then you can easily see it over there, and you will be able to see the report that your IP address, and then your name, and then current status not blacklisted, and then you could see the duration as well. The best part is that you can set up this alert notification for free. So the last three slides which I explained, those are all free ways of improving email deliverability. Darshil, next slide, please. So now this one is my favorite. You might have heard of an email deliverability package of Marketo. So what exactly that is? Um, Marketo has actually tied up with a third party called 250 OK, and I believe that is now being acquired by Validity. So sooner that 250 OK will be renamed by Validity. And what exactly it does? So it actually helps in seed list inbox monitoring. So what is inbox monitoring? So, like Darshil actually explained that whenever you send out an email, although Marketo might show that you got 90% email deliverability, but the entire 90% emails will not end up landing to your inbox. There will be a few emails landing, or maybe some of the email, or maybe 10 to 20% of the emails, depending upon your uh, email score, landing into different parts of the mailbox, could be spam, and could be getting blacklisted by ISPs. So what the in the email deliverability package does that it comes with the seed list, which we could customize whether we are targeting to B2B or B2C, or based on the geographic region. And what we need to do that we just need to send out the email to the seed list, and through that seed list we can actually see that how the email is being delivered, and how the delivery is being reported. And it also gives us an ISP alert dashboard. It can also tell us how our emails are rendering, and on various platforms, and it can also check the spam content. uh, Darshil, next slide, please. So this is how the dashboard of email deliverability package of Marketo looks like. So the green one actually shows that these many emails are actually landing into inbox. The red one shows that those emails are not at all being delivered, and the orange color actually shows that the emails are getting delivered into the spam folder or promotional folder. And then you could categorize the email deliverability by region, so like the way I did it for North America deliverability, and you will be able to see that there are certain days or certain emails when the deliverability is slightly lower than the other days, and that might have to do with the spam content, and image to text ratio, and could be many other things. And but if you see, the authentication of SPF and DKIM almost shows that 100% the records were passed. So just in case, even if your SPF and DKIM settings are perfect, there could be issues with email deliverability. And that's where Marketer's email deliverability package helps us in finding it out, that what is being broken over there. So on the lower left hand side, if you see that you could see the deliverability to Gmail, and see that how the emails are being delivered. The next chart, you could see that how the emails are getting delivered to AOL. You could actually customize it to GoDaddy and various other ISP providers that you want. And then you could actually see the Gmail primary tab deliverability in the past 7 days. So this is the beauty of Marketo's email deliverability package, that it gives you the insight which we don't get through the traditional reporting of any marketing automation platform. And that actually gives us actionable insights to see what is not working, and where we should be focusing more on. Means it could be there are issues with the email content, there are issues with the broken links, or maybe we are just not using HTTPS links, or are the images which are being rendered on the email, those are not from HTTPS link. Means we might have accidentally uploaded those on HTTP. All those things we can easily find it out with the help of this tool. Darshil, next slide, please. So we can actually set up the alert system. So what this alert system actually does? So I'll start with the first one, that the big four. So the big four ISPs are AOL, Apple, Gmail, Hotmail. Just in case if our email deliverability is lower in this big four platform, and and less than 90% emails are getting delivered to the inbox, I should be getting notified, or my client should be getting notified. So this first alert notification does that. And then the same thing, the same alert system, we could set it up for filter company spam, Gmail missing, and inbox usage. And just in case, if we want to be region specific and we want to have the report to come based on various regions, that how good we are with this specific region, we could just turn on the region or build a region specific email deliverability alert. Darshil, next slide please. And when you are actually set checking the email, this is the another report that you could actually get. And this is the beauty of that email deliverability package, that despite SPF and DKIM are correctly configured, still if you see on the top right hand side, 67% of the emails were successfully passed, but 33% of the emails were missing. And now this is alarming. And on the left hand side, if you see, it can actually, the tool can actually give us the insight that the authentication check is passed, the filter check, uh, three filter check has been passed, but there is one which has not been passed. And the same way, 5 out of 9 email provider are passed. It means there is some issue with 4 email providers. And then just in case if someone would have accidentally missed adding unsubscribe uh, link, then we could get that notification added over here. But if you see the authentication check, we got the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC implemented, but still there are issues with email deliverability. And those could be if you know we have blockage on ISPs, if we got into spam trap, and just in case if our spam score of the email is higher. uh, Next slide, Darshil. So this is again the another report that we get it from 250 OK, that is the email deliverability package of Marketo, that how our emails are actually rendering on various platforms. So if you see for G Suite, the inbox, perfect. The email is landing to the primary tab. SPF, DKM, and DMARC, they are perfectly configured. But if you see for GoDaddy, it is throwing an error. For Office 365, it is throwing an error. For Outlook.com, it is working well. For Mail.com, inbox is good, but it is not reading the SPF properly, not reading the DMARC, but it is reading DKIM. So it gives you the complete insight that which email provider is not um, matching up with the settings which we got it enabled, or maybe there is anything specific which we need to look into. Darshil, next slide. And this is again, just in case if there are you know the our emails could get blocked, not just because from the ISPs. There are virus scanners as well, where many large organizations, they have their emails skimmed or scanned through various virus antivirus, not virus, but antivirus platforms such as Symantec, Barracuda, and Spam Assassin. And the thing is that we need to check whether we are being blocklisted or blacklisted um, in those specific antivirus platforms as well. And this tool gives us that visibility to find it out, whether if we are good with ISP, if we are good with everything, might be there might be a possibility that somehow we might have been blocked by means in these virus scanners or antivirus scanners. Sorry. Next slide, Darshil. So spam complaint. So just think about it. We sent out a large email, and then many people who just got the same email, maybe in a short span of time, instead of unsubscribing, they just start complaining to the ISPs that hey, this sender is a spam. This sender is a spammer. How should we find that out? Is there a way? Can Marketo really provide us that insight? The answer is yes. There are two ways through which we can find it out. My favorite is to set up a report in Revenue Cycle Explorer. I know that it is a paid functionality, not everyone might have it. So I will move on to the second option as well, through which you should be able to find it out. So you can always set up a report in RCE to get the list of spam complaints broken down by email address, program name, email subject as well. And why this is important, because for one of my client, I will not name that, uh, I found out in less than 3 months there were 1,400 complaints which were sent to ISPs by the recipients. and they were surprised to see that most of those complaints were actually sent by their existing customers only. So this is the data which can actually help us to find it out which emails is triggering more complaint, who is actually complaining about us. And once you know this, you can always find out a way to either not to send emails to such people who are complaining about us, or maybe the best way would be to find it out and update the content accordingly. The second thing is FBL, that is called feedback loop. So you get this smart list filter through which you can always find it out how many people are complaining about us. And that is nothing but within the smart list filter, if you go to unsubscribe, you need to include the reason as containing complaint, and you can always see those people who have complained about our emails. But it is always going to be a manual exercise to find it out who that person was, um, what exactly email they selected to complain about us, what was the subject of the email. But the beauty of RCE, which is Revenue Cycle Explorer, is that it is all about like a pivot table of Excel. You can just pull all the fields which you want to be in the report, and you will be able to see the data. So I guess this happens to be the last slide.
Yep, we can open the Q&A forum.
Yes, and now we are open to any potential question which you may have.
I'll just stop screen sharing and we can read through the comments.
And what I am going to do, I'm going to stop the recording as well, so that
Mhm.
everyone is free to ask the questions.
Yeah,